Most people look at a 1965 Chevrolet Impala SS and believe the story is simple: a big, beautiful, powerful American classic. But that shiny paint and proud Supersport badge hide a truth few owners or even collectors want to talk about. This car was born in a record-breaking year, yet half a century later, it's become one of the most misunderstood Chevrolets ever built. Under the long hood and graceful fastback lines, countless examples carry secrets that even their proudest owners don't suspect. The shocking reality? Many of the so-called original SS models cruising car shows today are imposters in plain sight. Cars that wear the badge but conceal a different past, where engines were swapped, VIN tags lost, and key details blurred by decades of restorations and quick sales. 2. Setting the stage. 1965 was a landmark year for Chevrolet. The Impala, already a household name, leapt into new territory with sleeker styling, a full-width grille, and curves that made it look lower and longer. Chevrolet's gamble paid off. More than 1 million Impalas were sold that year, a record that still stands. Among them sat the top-tier Supersport, or SS, a model that promised more excitement than the average family sedan. Buyers thought they were getting pure performance and exclusivity. In a way they were, but the real story was more complicated. The SS was a showroom magnet, but the same mass production success that made it famous also set the stage for decades of confusion because so many variations existed that today it's almost impossible to track which car had which heart when it left the factory. 3. A standalone star. Unlike earlier years when SS was mostly a trim package, the 1965 Impala SS became a distinct model with its own identity. Bucket seats, center console, and unique instrumentation were standard. The Supersport name meant something special, on paper. Enthusiasts saw it as Chevrolet's answer to Ford's Galaxie 500 XL or Pontiac's Grand Prix. But the badge didn't guarantee what most people assume today: raw muscle. Beneath the surface, the SS designation was as much about style as it was about speed, a detail that fuels confusion to this day. Buyers could order a mild small block and still drive away with an SS badge on the fender, meaning that two cars wearing identical emblems might deliver wildly different experiences. And this blurring of luxury and performance would later make fakes almost impossible to spot. 4. Engines for everyone. Chevrolet offered a dizzying menu of engines for the '65 Impala. A buyer could start with a mild 283 cubic inch V8, move up to a 327, or opt for big block power. The star of the show was the legendary 499, a motor with a racing pedigree and a loyal following. But there was a twist. In the middle of the model year, Chevrolet quietly retired the 409, replacing it with the brand new 396 big block. That sudden change created a scarcity that collectors obsess over, and it's a key reason the true history of these cars is so murky. To this day, enthusiasts argue about how many 409 cars were actually built, and the uncertainty fuels both fascination and fraud as sellers try to cash in on the mythos of that mighty engine. 5. The vanishing 409. Early build '65 SS models could still be ordered with the 409, but only for a few months. When the 396 arrived, production of 409 cars dwindled to a tiny fraction of overall sales. Today, genuine 409-powered '65 SS Impalas are rare prizes, but scarcity invites deception. Over the decades, many owners swapped in different engines, and plenty of cars wearing 409 emblems today never left the factory with that powerhouse. Without meticulous documentation, it's almost impossible to tell which ones are authentic. Even experts sometimes disagree, because engine stampings can be faked and old paperwork is easily lost or forged. For collectors chasing the ultimate Impala SS, that uncertainty is both a nightmare and a thrill. 6. Style inside and out. Step inside a true SS and you'd find details that separated it from a regular Impala. Machine-turned dash trim, a center console with a built-in clock, even a vacuum gauge for performance-minded drivers. Chevrolet sold luxury and speed in one package. Yet those same interior parts became easy to transplant during restorations. That means a base Impala could be dressed in SS clothes without much effort, a practice that only deepened the mystery of which cars are genuine supersports today. To a casual observer, the difference is invisible, and even veteran judges can be fooled when reproduction parts look fresher than originals. 7. Transmission tricks. The drivetrain menu was just as varied. Buyers could pick a 3-speed manual, a Powerglide automatic, or a rare 4-speed. Collectors now hunt for those factory 4-speed cars, but transmissions are easy to change. A car that started life with a modest automatic might now boast a floor-shifted 4-speed, fooling casual observers and even seasoned enthusiasts. Paperwork is everything, yet many cars lost their build sheets decades ago. This creates fertile ground for misunderstandings and, in some cases, deliberate misrepresentation when owners realize that a simple swap can boost a car's value by thousands of dollars. 9. Badging games. Because the SS name carried cachet, owners of ordinary Impalas often added SS emblems later. The badges themselves were never hard to find. Over time, countless base models were reborn as supersports, and many were sold that way. To the untrained eye, the difference is invisible. The shocking reality is that a huge portion of Impala SS cars on the market may have started life as something else entirely. In fact, veteran restorers joke that more 1965 SS models exist today than Chevrolet ever produced, a wiry acknowledgement of how widespread rebadging has become. 10. Engine swaps and hidden hearts. Engines wear out, and replacements were common. Some cars originally fitted with a 396 now carry a 402 truck engine or a crate motor with no factory tie to 1965. Sellers may present these cars as numbers matching, but without original documentation, it's almost impossible to prove a true numbers matching Impala SS. The Impala SS became the victim of its own popularity. The parts were plentiful, the modifications easy, and the temptation to enhance value irresistible. Each swap further muddies the historical record, leaving future owners unsure whether their prized machine is a factory jewel or an expertly assembled illusion. 11. Numbers matching nightmares. For serious collectors, numbers matching means the engine, transmission, and major components all carry factory-correct serial numbers. But Chevrolet's record-keeping in the 1960s wasn't built for modern scrutiny. Without an intact build sheet or original dealer paperwork, proving a true numbers-matching Impala SS is a detective job few can complete. Many cars advertised as matching simply aren't, either because of innocent mistakes or deliberate attempts to inflate value. Even with expert inspection, tiny differences in stamping or date codes can spark endless debate.
12. Collector fever. Despite these uncertainties, the 65 SS has become a hot property. Rising prices tempt some sellers to stretch the truth. A car with a replacement engine might still fetch top dollar if it looks the part. This fuels a market where appearance often matters more than provenance, and unsuspecting buyers pay premium prices for cars that aren't what they seem. Auction houses see bidding wars driven more by nostalgia and curb appeal than documented history, a perfect environment for myths to thrive. 13. Detecting the real deal. Experts know to check subtle details: the cowl tag, correct trim codes, proper weld marks, and factory-stamped engine pads. These clues can confirm or expose a car's identity, but spotting them requires experience, and many buyers simply don't have it. The result is a marketplace full of mysteries, where even careful shoppers can be misled. Knowledgeable collectors often bring in marquee specialists, armed with flashlights and mirrors, turning each purchase into a forensic investigation worthy of a crime drama. 14. Odd options and Easter eggs. The 65 Impala SS also offered quirky factory options: underdash tissue dispensers, rare AM/FM stereo units, and unique wheel covers. These touches delight enthusiasts, but complicate restorations. Reproductions of these parts exist, adding another layer of uncertainty about what's factory correct. A casual buyer might assume a car is more original because of a rare accessory, not realizing that the part could have been added last month. 15. Famous fakes and surprising finds. Stories circulate of barn-find Impalas revealed to be cleverly disguised base models, or show winners later proven to have swapped VIN tags. There are also genuine survivors, discovered after decades in storage, complete with untouched paperwork that settles all doubts. Each tale adds to the Impala's mystique and proves how elusive the truth can be. The thrill of uncovering a perfectly documented example keeps collectors hunting, even as the risk of being fooled grows. 16. Why it matters. To some, a car is just a car, but to collectors and historians, authenticity is everything. The 1965 Impala SS sits at the intersection of muscle car culture and full-size luxury, making it a key piece of American automotive history. Preserving that history means separating fact from fiction, a challenge made harder by decades of modifications and myths. Without careful research, future generations may never know how many true supersports survive. 17. Lessons for buyers. For anyone chasing their dream Impala SS, the takeaway is clear. Research relentlessly, inspect every detail, and never buy the story without the evidence. The car might be beautiful, but beauty can deceive. Demand documentation, question every claim, and remember that the most convincing car can still hide a swapped part. Bringing an expert to an inspection may seem costly, but it's nothing compared to paying top dollar for a cleverly disguised base model. 18. The collector's dilemma. Ironically, the very uncertainty that clouds the 65 SS may also enhance its allure. Each car carries a mystery, a past that begs to be uncovered. Some collectors relish the detective work, others accept a bit of ambiguity as part of the fun. Either way, the legend of the Impala SS endures, not just for its style and performance, but for the secrets it keeps. That dual nature, glamorous yet elusive, has helped the car maintain a near mythical status in the classic market. 19. The ultimate reveal. Here's the real shock. A large percentage of 1965 Chevrolet Impala SS cars on the road today are not precisely what their owners believe. From engine swaps to badge engineering, the majority have histories far more complex than a simple one-owner survivor. The Supersport name still turns heads, but authenticity is a rarer commodity than anyone imagined. What began as a high-volume success story has become a lesson in how history can be rewritten, one restoration at a time. 20. Closing thoughts. So next time you see a gleaming 1965 Impala SS at a show or rolling down the highway, admire the chrome and the rumble. But remember, what you see may not be what you're really hearing. Beneath that long hood might lie a different heart. Beneath that SS badge, a different past. The shocking truth is that the legend lives on precisely because it refuses to be pinned down. A car forever wrapped in mystery, daring you to uncover its real story. And perhaps that's the greatest appeal of all, the knowledge that every 1965 Impala SS carries a question mark, inviting anyone who loves it to keep digging.